The ability to convert server core to and from a graphical user interface in Windows Server 2012 is an incredible addition to this functionality and is no doubt going to help spread it even further, even faster. A server can be easily switched between one of the three installation types: the bare bones, no bells and whistles server core, the minimal server interface where we can turn on the bits and pieces of a graphical user interface that we would like, and then the full server install or the full GUI or the full GUI, whichever way you want to say that. Now there are two tools that we can use to switch types. We can use the Add Remove Features wizard in the Server Manager, or we can use the Windows PowerShell prompt. Now some of you may say, now I've seen some of those PowerShell commands and I'm not interested in all that coding stuff. Trust me, you're going to like what you see. I'm going to show you the Windows PowerShell prompts here. Pretty neat. You could jot these down on a piece of paper, stick them up on your cubicle or whatever you're working in. Just memorize them. You can very, very quickly move back and forth. Notice here, to convert a full GUI server down to a minimal server interface using PowerShell, we're just going to open the PowerShell prompt and we're going to type uninstall-Windows feature server-GUI-shell-restart. It will restart and you will have the minimal server interface. To convert a minimal server interface to a GUI full server using PowerShell, you're just going to do the opposite. Install-Windows feature server-GUI-shell-restart, and you're right back. Now to convert a server core from all the way from bare bones server core to a full GUI server using PowerShell, open that PowerShell prompt, install-Windows feature server GUI mgmt-infra, and notice infra for just think full infrastructure. Restart, it'll restart and you'll have your full graphical user interface. Now look at the note here. This is important. Watch for this on the exam. If the binaries for this feature and any dependent features have not been removed, the command will succeed. Everybody will be happy. But if for some reason you've removed the binaries, they're not sitting out there on the drive for all this stuff, they're going to automatically be downloaded from Windows Update. Notice the word ouch. These can be some pretty sizable downloads, and it could take a while for that to happen and get everything in place and for your restart to finally finish and all your graphical user interface to be there. There's a workaround here. You can use the source parameter to avoid the download and point to where those files are. Now when you're using the source parameter, you're going to have to point it to a Windows imaging mount point containing the addition of SQL Server being used. You can also mount the Windows Server 2012 distribution media and point to the Windows WinSXS folder, and that will work. So let's talk about how to mount that Server 2012 distribution media. That's the way most people are managing these things, right? You've got your distribution media, you've got your DVD. Just go ahead and put it into the server's drive. Then go out there and create a folder to mount the installation image, something like, mkdir, go to a command prompt, make directory, C /, we'll just call it mount dir for the folder name. Now you have to locate the index number of the image, and here is the command you can execute, dism get wim info, and you see the rest of it. Notice the WIM file, :E right here. We're assuming E is the drive letter for the disk drive. If yours is different, then change it, then /I install WIM. Then you're going to now have the index number. It'll be LDX. It's on the left side of the list. Then you'll mount the installation image. You'll call dism. Then you will call /mount WIM /wim file. Again, we're assuming that that's the letter for our disk drive. Sources, install WIM. And then we'll put the index 2. We'll say that the index we found was 2. Then our mount directory, C /mount directory, read only. That will mount the installation image as a read-only image. Then we can execute the install Windows feature command that a PowerShell prompt specifies the source. This is what that would look like. I won't read it to you. Go through, work with each of these commands. If you're not familiar with PowerShell, just go out there and take a look at some of the PowerShell stuff. I'll stick some stuff in the work files folder for you as well. Get to know these commands. Like I said, write them down, put them somewhere handy. This is a very, very cool way to take care of this whole process of converting from a server core to graphical user interface and back.